Gas prices. Really, do I need to say anymore? If you're like me, you probably think it seems like every time you visit the pump, the price is going up. Well, guess what? In some places, it is. Today on Delmarva Life, we're going to learn how the old excuse of supply versus demand can't really be used this time around.
And if you've been hitting the skies and the cost has been anything but friendly, we may have a solution for you. It's called biofuel. And while the technology is nothing new, the fact that it's being used in planes is. Find out who's using it and when you can start seeing sticker relief for your flight.
Another cost you need to avoid at the airport is that of theft. We're going to show you steps you can take to keep your privately packed products right where they belong, in your suitcase.
Your vehicle can also be a hot spot for crooks. But did you know thieves have figured out a way to get in without breaking your window or picking your locks? We show you the latest high-tech way people are stealing your belongings and ways you can stop them.
Scams are another way people are being taken advantage of, and it seems like there's new ones every day. Coming up, we're going to see how the Better Business Bureau is helping keep you protected no matter where you live.
And you can help protect our streets by paying close attention to today's blotter of fugitives. See if you are or you know anyone on our most wanted Monday list.
Hey guys, well, the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office has a brand new canine unit. His name is Brune, and it's all thanks to you guys in the community. Coming up, you'll hear his story. You'll get to meet him and his handler.
And there's no introduction needed for this guy. WBOC's Charlie Paparella helps us see HD television in a whole new way, a clearer way, maybe. You'll see us put the Clear TV to the test and see if you can really get high-definition television with nothing more than an antenna.
And we're making a quick, delicious, and healthy dinner a pestability. Delmarva Life starts right now. Good afternoon, I'm Lisa Bryant.
I'm Jimmy Hopple. Welcome to Delmarva Live from historic Studio D. There was quite the crash at the US 13 Dragway on Friday. We are wishing the best for the 66-year-old driver from Pocomoke there in the right lane. You see a bump on the wall right there. That's his Chevelle that he crashed, but that wasn't all of the crash. There's plenty more to come.
Yeah,
he was airlifted to, my goodness. He was airlifted to Christiana with non-life-threatening injuries. Through that crash that you just watched right there, he actually hit two other cars on the return road, damaging them. Unofficial word is that the first bump there, it knocked him unconscious, and that's why he was on the accelerator the rest of the way down the strip.
Yeah, my husband and my son, who actually works at the track, witnessed the crash. My husband was where that first bump was, and he said it was it doesn't look very hard, but it was pretty hard. He also said that had he not hit those other cars down the way, he probably would have hit a tree in the woods. Now, we're going to have more from Laura Landry, who drives a WBOC car. She's going to have that on DelmarvaLife.com. So, yeah.
Good. Be sure to look for that.
Well, the Tuckahoe Steam and Gas Show is wrapping up after all this week in Easton. Now it's time for the truck and tractor pull. Yeah, we love our vehicles around here. Next Friday at the Steam and Gas Grounds north of Easton, there will be Super Stock Pro stock tractors, multi-engine modified tractors, super modified two-wheel drive trucks, modified four-wheel drive trucks, hot farm tractors, and more. Now, if you've never seen a tractor pull, you don't want to miss this. I've never seen a tractor pull, so.
Oh, you gotta go. Well, now, if you like to plan your fun ahead of time, here's something for you. The Central Delaware Blues Society is bringing Brent Johnson here to Jonathan's Landing Golf Course in Magnolia. It's going to be Thursday. Singer-songwriter will bring music from his debut 2014 record and will be accompanied by his band, The Call Up. Asked what he likes about playing at Jonathan's Landing, he said, the people show up every time. They get loud, they dance, they have fun. So, there's your fun plan for Thursday.
And maybe the hot weather last week gave you the blues. Well, it was pretty nice today with highs in the 80s, but if you're a Sussex or Kent County resident and the sweltering heat we've already had and will certainly have again is causing you problem, we have some good news for you. The First State Community Action Agency is giving some households a way to beat the heat. Applications for the Summer Cooling Assistance Program to receive a free air conditioner are being accepted Wednesday in Georgetown and next Tuesday in Dover. Applicants must be 60 or over or have a disability or have children under the age of 5. Households must also meet income eligibility requirements. If you want some more information, call 302-856-7761. Now, it has been a hot summer, and it's also been a wet summer, especially compared with recent summers. I'm not complaining. My grass is green. My garden looks great. But we haven't had many tropical storms in the area this summer. So Are we in the clear?
Well, there's a good question. Last week we spoke with WBOC Chief Meteorologist Dan Satterfield about the hurricane season thus far. He also touched on why we might have an interesting winter, too. Unfortunately, that interview was not seen in its entirety because of a technical problem, so here it is. Here we are with about a month into the 2015 Atlantic hurricane season, and I mean, we don't want to jinx anything, but so far so good. We've only had 2 tropical storms.
Well, one of them was Anna, which was here Mother's Day weekend, and then there was Tropical Storm Bill, which showed up on Father's Day weekend. Their winds only got up to about 60 miles an hour max.
Wait. We had Anna on Mother's Day.
Yep.
And Bill on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Well, now we still have about 5 months to go, and that's plenty of time for Mother Nature to flex her muscle and show her fury. So what can we expect? WBOC Chief Meteorologist Dan Satterfield joins us today. Dan, thanks for coming in and joining us this afternoon. Okay, so the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration predicted a below normal season. Why?
The main reason is because we thought an El Nino would develop. El Nino is an area of warm water that develops off the coast of South America, and that switches the atmosphere around. It makes a lot of hurricanes in the Pacific, but it tends to cause very few hurricanes to form in the Atlantic. So they said with this strong El Nino developing, boy, they hit that on the money. That we probably wouldn't have very many hurricanes. And this El Nino is getting so strong now, we think there's going to be hardly any.
But they're also saying that doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet.
Nope.
Coastal areas are still facing things. What does that mean for Delmarva?
Well, it means one thing with El Nino summers, you tend to get very few hurricanes, but the ones that develop tend to go up the East Coast instead of into the Gulf. So if we get any, we have to watch out. And it only takes one. Back in the late 90s, we had a strong El Nino, and we only had 1 hurricane that year, and that was Hurricane Andrew that wiped out Miami. So it only takes 1.
It only takes 1, even though 11 of them were predicted, 11 named storms.
Yeah, they predicted 6 to 11 named storms. In an average year, we'd have probably 10 to 15. I don't think we'll get above 6 or 7.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more. Let's talk more about the El Nino. Explain to me the El Nino thing.
Okay, normally the winds blow the warm waters in the Pacific and hold them way off toward Asia.
Right.
Every few years, those winds stop blowing and all that warm water sloshes in off the coast of South America. And you can see on that graphic there, see that big red tongue shooting out? That's warmer than normal water.
Oh, okay.
And it's really warmer than normal. That is the strong El Nino. And just yesterday, we got a new run of the ensembles, as we call it. And that red line there, that's the strongest El Nino that we've ever recorded. That was 1997.
Yeah.
Now about 6 out of 10 of those computer model runs are above that line.
Oh my goodness.
And you can't really get a good idea from one computer model run, but if you run it several times and take an average with a slightly different start each time, you end up getting a much better forecast. And so those.
Now, what am I looking at here?
Isn't that a riot of color?
It's beautiful.
It's pretty.
Well, this is what's called an RGB satellite image, and what you can do is you can look at different wavelengths of light, and you assign a color to each one. And it turns out that if you look at the green band, only the green band of light, you can pick up smoke, so you make that green. And if you look at a different wavelength, you can pick up dust. That's pink. So what you're looking at in the green, and now we switch to just showing you the smoke alone, but that is the wildfire smoke from Canada wildfires. Probably at least 150 large major fires are burning in Canada and several hundred smaller fires. That smoke yesterday was so bad the air quality in Vancouver, BC was like Beijing.
Wow.
Denver was almost as bad, and you can see it in the air over Delmarva today.
You can.
It's thin, it's a hazy milky sky.
Now you're talking about the El Nino and the changes it's making. What's that going to mean for our winter?
Yeah, that's the good question. I'll tell you this, the last strong El Nino was 2010. We have another name for 2010. Remember what that is? Snowmageddon. Yeah. Every El Nino is different. There's other factors that go into our winter weather, but I can say this, it's going to be an interesting winter. It may be a very interesting winter. This could end the California drought, or at least put a dent in it. Strong El Ninos give California a lot of rain, but not always.
But we still need to keep our eye on the hurricane season. We're not out of the woods, and be prepared.
It's going to be an interesting next 9 months of weather, I can tell you that.
Dan, thank you so much.
Sure.
And of course, for all of the latest weather updates, go to WBOC.com. And again, we recorded that last week, hence the different clothes and everything. Pretty interesting, though.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking about rain and water and such. Everybody knows that golden retrievers love the water, right?
Oh, that is so good.
Sometimes it just takes the golden retrievers a little bit to realize that. In this particular case, it's their first time. Yay! Oh, yeah, you know what? Not so much. It's their first time in the pool. What looked like a good idea at first apparently is requiring a little bit of reconsideration by that fella. Oh, that's pretty neat. Yeah,
still cool.
Thank you. It's so cool.
Very cute. Well, maybe your first road trip of the year is coming up, and you're wondering how much it's going to impact your bottom line. Well, coming up next, we hear the current gas prices here on Delmarva and why the cost of oil is reportedly low, but our cost at the pump is reportedly high.
Well, you certainly don't want a thief stealing your hard-earned money or your efficiently packed suitcases this summer vacation still ahead. We hear about a few scams to avoid while you're traveling, plus a scam tracker that may help you protect you and your wallet.
And later, you could help the local police stop criminals by helping them catch a few wanted criminals here on Delmarva. Still ahead, we get a new batch of fugitives in this week's Most Wanted Monday and hear about a chance for you to score some cash. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.
Delmarva Life is brought to you by Sussex County Federal Credit Union, guiding you to your financial future. Peninsula Regional Medical Center, honored to serve the entire Delmarva Peninsula since 1897. Your local York and LG dealers, and State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.